after page after page. You know, I remember a article I saw like a decade ago, and every time I mention it, people don't believe me. But listeners actually sent me the newspaper out of Illinois. And I showed it on air many times on my local TV show, but read it here on the radio. That was back before we were streaming, radio/TV, streaming video. But the article mentioned a bunch of towns in Illinois where they have ordinances about occupancy for homes. And it said that inspectors come in your house without even knocking, and that the way they implement things, it's all arbitrary. If you have more toothbrushes than you have people, it's not like they come in without a warrant, which is total police state, and that's bad enough. They come in, and once they're in your house, once they're inside your home, they go into your bathroom, and if you have too many toothbrushes, they fine you on the spot. And then the towns are so mafia, the police all enforce this. And it described one elderly couple waking up, and at the foot of their bed at like 6 a.m., because they like to, quote, catch you when the people are there was the code enforcer in front of their bed saying, "You've got 3 toothbrushes." I think I've got like 5 toothbrushes, folks, because I think different types of heads do different things. My dad's a dentist, by the way. He believes the same thing. So sometimes if my gums are sensitive, I use soft. I usually use hard, sometimes medium. I brushed with 2 toothbrushes this morning. But that isn't the issue here. That isn't the issue. This is my house under English common law and under the Bill of Rights and Constitution, but a regulator is now coming into your house. I mean, this is so incredible. I even have trouble believing that I'm talking about this. That the regulator comes into your house and stands in front of your bed. And the article described like it was cute. Oh, sometimes, especially older folks that still think this is America, was kind of the attitude, and don't know our new Soviet ways. Mrs. Brown, or whatever her name was cooking breakfast at 7 a.m. and was upset when the code enforcer walked right in her screen door, past her, into her bedroom to check the toothbrushes. This is kind of like articles I've seen out of Tennessee, where it was a local newspaper a few years ago. You've seen it all over the country now, where the visiting girls basketball team, it was 8th grade, because they were 12 years old on average, went into the showers after the game and came out screaming and freaking out and panicking and said there's cameras in the shower. And the school principal and coaches said, "Settle down, honey. We do that for your safety. There could be crime in the showers." So it's like you go, "There's dead bodies in that basement." And they go, "Shh, you don't understand. We're the authority figure. It's what we do." And everybody kind of settled down. Oh, the government has the cameras in the showers, which is even worse than even a random person doing it. Because this is the government. It shows the government's gone pure bad. But some parents still wouldn't be settled down. That was the Knoxville News Sentinel. I remember reporting on it. It was some town outside there. They still, to the name of that paper, I don't remember. I just remember all these cases. And they talked in the article like, well, the folks from the away team were just a little extremist and a little easy to get flustered. They just didn't understand. The cameras are in the showers for their safety. It's you know what? We put sodium fluoride in your water that gives you a 7-fold increase in bone cancer. Now, yeah, there's some radioactive isotopes in there, but don't get upset. Yeah, the code inspectors come in your house. And of course, if the door happens to be locked, they then bang on it or sometimes force their way in. And see, when I happened to cover that at the time, it was like a 2-week jag of other articles being sent to me and people calling in with their horror stories around the country. In fact, we got loaded phone lines right now. But after I talked to Dee, George, Tim, Janice, and Otter, if you're in Illinois and live in I think it was like 10 towns at the time, this was about 9 years ago. It was about 2002 or so. If you live in those towns and think that this is something that should be talked about, plus we have listeners who probably won't believe it, please call in and tell me the name of your town so I can remember, so that I can go pull articles on it. Because if you can't remember the name of the town, hey, guys, try to search it yourselves. Code enforcers entering houses without warrants. That should pull it up somewhere, but there it was like a real happy article. Somebody mailed me the big newspaper, and it showed the code enforcer real proud of it. And again, it was reported like it was no big deal, like code enforcers come into the home and barbecue your child because they deserve it. You know, they're the government. It was kind of like code enforcers just come on in, and they didn't even say without a warrant. You know, the couple woke up with the code enforcer at the foot of their bed, or Mabel was cooking eggs for her husband George, and there was the code enforcer walking past them, and they said, "What are you doing?" At which time the code enforcer informed them he had a right under the city rules and laws to check that they did not have a wrong occupancy. See, this is the thing. I left Sunday. I call it a long weekend. An actual 2-day weekend for me is a long weekend. And I went out to our property in East Texas, and my dad's got some nice deer hunters out there on our property. You know, they're deer leasing it again. And I get out there, and they're real nice. But driving out, I see the game warden, 5 miles away, harassing people and doing something. So I called back later and found out what happened. And the game warden, and I mean, now there's like hundreds of them per region, just showed up out there and walked over to the hunters and said, "What does this code on the gate mean?" Like the deer hunters would know, but luckily they did. They said, "Well, that's the lease number here." And where are the logs? Net felt logs. Give them your driver's license, have it scanned to make sure you're not a criminal or that you've paid all your taxes now. And then men in uniform show up, and the gate was open, but they'll cross gates. And because they claim they don't need warrants. See, everything's a privilege now because they say so. And by the way, they're now saying guns are a privilege again. And cops will go with that. It's now a privilege. I'm taking them. It's not a privilege, but see, they say so. And so there's another bunkhouse out there. And they just went ahead and walked on in there because that's how America works. You are a criminal. You are scum. You are trash. You are filth. The TSA is going to grope your 1-year-old son or daughter. They're going to grab your wife's breast. And maybe give her a note about, "Baby, I want to have a good time with you." There's a woman up in Amarillo. On record, they grabbed her breast and laughed and asked her for a date. I mean, this is how America runs now. And they're hiring every knuckle-dragging person who couldn't get a job carrying garbage as toilet attendants to mind your life. Who else would take these jobs? Control freaks, tough guys. They're real tough guys. That's what this is all about. You can't get away from government. You can't go hide in Alaska. You can't go hide under a bridge. You cannot get away from these people. You can't go to the woods. You can't go to a third world country. You cannot get away from them. Read the Declaration of Independence. He has created all these agencies and sent forth swarms of agents to eat out our substance. And then we made phone calls and found out at the ranch down the road. I remember driving down there Friday evening. It was about to get dark. I remember seeing RV parked there and all these little kids running around and old folks. You could tell, and by the way, my dad knows that family. It's a big old ranch. Family came to visit. And it doesn't matter if you've got your license, you got to fill out all your logs and everything, or they take everything you've got and take your guns. Listen, he's dead now, so he's beyond their grasp, but my great uncle died of pancreatic cancer last year, and about a year before that, he wanted to go deer hunting one last time. And so he goes out there, and we weren't allowing deer leases then at that time, just family. And he shoots a deer, and then my uncle, they field got it right there. But then my uncle says, "Don't worry," along with my dad, "we'll drive this into town and get it turned into sausage and steaks for you. We'll just have the processor do it." And they said, "Okay." So they drive into Fairfield. And this state police jumps out, pulls him over, has his hand on his gun. "Get back in your car! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back right now!" And they're like, "What's going on?" Because they see the legs sticking out. And he goes, "Because these are American scum. These are Al-Qaeda. These are enemies. These are people to be taught they're scum and trash and filth and garbage. So the foreign banks can fully suck everything out, including that state police officer's mother and grandma's pensions. And he'll still love them." And they're like, what in the world is going on here? And he's like, well, you're transporting a deer, and get up against the car. And then he goes, I've got you. I'm calling back up. You're going to jail. This name on the tag doesn't match the one. And, of course, they said, well, that's fine. You go ahead and get your buddies over here and get the game warden over here. Landowners can transport the deer. But it doesn't matter. They're just going to make more rules till they get you. And he's like, you shut up. You shut up. That's not true. And the game warden gets there and goes, oh, hi. Oh, I knew your daddy. Oh, yeah. It's all right, Bob. Yes, they're allowed to transport it. But then the state police guy insisted on digging through more, trying to find something. I mean, I won't even go hunting because of these people. I don't even want to be around it. I mean, and again, that's their goal. Just like the animal ID, the premises ID, all of it. You know, there's a guy dying of pancreatic cancer back at the deer camp. He wants to go deer hunting before he dies. They drive in the deer to get it turned into sausage, and that's a crime in America. I saw a report last week where a guy had a deer and was gutting it in like a condo-type apartment complex, and the police came and said, you're disrupting the peace, and arrested him. Because, again, to totally domesticated people, you know, some redneck moves into the edge of town, gets a duplex, is gutting a deer in their doorway, because they're just a hillbilly, you know, person, and the general public thinks it's some animal sacrifice or something. They're eating food all day. They'll eat chickens raised in a concentration camp, never seen a light of day, with their feet grown into the slats beneath them. That's not a crime. But actually killing and butchering your own deer, that's a crime. And again, it's because we are scum. We are trash. I first got involved when I was first on air. We got to find these videos and get them posted. Some of them are. I noticed a pattern. As soon as somebody had a heart attack or was dying of cancer and was in the hospital, they had maps of it. And it was always a local realtor that would report it as some sweetheart deal to get the property. And I did literally more than 20 cases where I covered this and didn't find out until about the 15th it was part of a city scam. They have special units of police that are part of it and stuff the average cops don't know. And they know when somebody's dying of cancer or just had a heart attack that in a week or two the grass grows above 3 inches is what they say objectionable grass length is in Austin. And it is $2,000 a day fines. In Austin, you think it's bad under Rahm Emanuel, $1,200 for 10-inch grass. Here in Austin, it's $2,000 for whatever they say is objectionable. And I kept wondering why it was always old people. They've got special units. And again, the average cops don't know about this. It's all about the criminal compartmentalization. At least they had this 15 years ago, back when I was battling it locally. And they go out and then take the house, sell it off to select insiders, and then throw the old person in one of their FEMA camp nursing homes.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
You don't need me to tell you that humanity is in a deep crisis. Everyone can feel it. We know a tectonic struggle is now taking place between the forces of freedom and those who love darkness, bondage, and enslavement. Yes, my friends, evil is rising. But take heart. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Recently, New World Order operative Hillary Clinton admitted they're